Quick look at the starting grid for race 2. Kyle Wyman, Bradley Smith, and James Rispoli.
Then we have Herfoss, Gillum, and O'Hara rounding out row number 2. A little further back, Landers, Baz, Lewis, West, Ohnsorg, and Flinders. And we are on our way. Greg Camp Peterson's rounded out that last row as the riders are off down and going into turn 1. We got Kyle Wyman, Bradley Smith, 1 and 2 at the moment. Let's see what Herfoss does on the number 1 Indian. He's trying to position himself at the front. Let's see if he can get that bike slowed down. We saw him run a little bit wide yesterday. These Indian guys, I guarantee you, were hard at work last night. I saw some impressive times in the warm-up from the number 1 bike this morning. So Troy Herfoss, our defending champion, leads the way from Bradley Smith, Wyman, and Rispoli. Round out your top 4.
So on our way down to turn number 5 for the first time. Bradley Smith trying to use the draft and pass, but boy, that Indian motorcycle looking stout right now as they head off into turn number 5. Herfoss deep on the brakes, going to keep it nice and tidy, and up towards the bridge they go. And that's the way they're going to fall in line. So the Corvette bridge underneath is going to be the 33 Wyman Rispoli there in 4th place. And a gap already starting to form.
So the thing that's going to be the tell for me, watching Troy right now at the front, keep in mind how much experience this guy has, winning Superbike championships as we've documented over the last couple of years in Australia, and obviously coming in here last year and making some big waves, winning the championship. Indian's got a lot of smart people over there that went to work hard overnight. I just want to be able to see him ride the way he knows how to ride without the franticness of feeling like he can't let people get away. We're going to learn a lot here in the first couple of laps from what the number 1 really has underneath him as far as a motorcycle goes. But already, Greg, it looks so much tidier and better for Troy than it did yesterday. Bradley Smith has really come on strong as well. First time here at MotoAmerica. And you can see Kyle Wyman right now is just going to kind of sit back and watch what happens with these front 2 as well as Rispoli, because the factory Harleys have been the class of the field so far this weekend.
In the Canada corner, Bradley Smith closes up a bike length. Now it's a drive out of the corner, just a little wide, but no real dramas, even though up on the curb for the number 1. The real test is going to be what happens on this straightaway as they come to turn number 14 here at MotoAmerica. What kind of drive does Troy Herfoss and his S&S Indian Motorcycle Challenger have versus Bradley Smith and that Harley-Davidson by DynoJet factory machine? So here we go onto the straightaway. As they go down into turn number 1, Herfoss still maintains the lead. Let's get to the 3rd member of the broadcast team, Hannah Lopa, for more.
Really, the first flying lap is going to be the one I'm looking at. We had a 2:22 flat from a standing start. If I see him all of a sudden do a 17 or even a low 18 off the bat here, then I'm going to know he's a lot more comfortable. And then he's got to try to figure out tire wear as well over Troy Herfoss. And let's see if Bradley Smith can lead this race. He does, but Herfoss goes back past him, and he's able to hold that line, uses some exit, but he was still able to make the corner no problem. 2:18.9 though, Greg. Honestly, the pace is a little bit slow at the front.
Yeah, so 18.944 was his qualifying time. The number 1 plate, Herfoss. He goes 18.904, so a little quicker for Herfoss than his qualifying time. Kyle Wyman, a 2:18.5, fastest lap of the race so far. Here comes Bradley Smith. He's trying to use the draft and pass. They go down the hill into turn number 5. Herfoss throws strong into 5. He's got the line choice, so he'll control it. Yeah, Kyle Wyman out wide. Couldn't get his motorcycle slowed down.
Is kind of working it on both sides. You see Herfoss up out of the seat.
That might be the first indicator of what's going on with his rear Dunlop tire, or just a little bit too much throttle as Bradley Smith trying to take advantage of the wheel spin from Herfoss. And here comes Smith. Oh, there's nowhere to go there, especially with the extra width of those bags. Pinches him off the edge of the line, but it looks like it's going to be the 38 of Bradley Smith who gets credited with that lap lead. And here comes Rispoli. Is he trying to go for the lead? No, he's going to stay in 3rd place, but the number 1 of Herfoss goes 19.2, and he'll take the spot as they head down to turn number 3.
Yeah, the pace is slow though, Greg. 2:19.2. So Herfoss is just doing everything he can.
So the former MotoGP rider to the front. He's going to head off to the carousel, and he's been extremely foul, and they nearly touch as Herfoss gets bumped out wide. He didn't want to give an inch to Bradley Smith, but Bradley Smith had position on the track.
It's a white flag lap already, so Bradley Smith leading the lap here, and the time is 2:19.1. But Greg, that's still awful slow lap time. We'll see if anybody uncorks a good lap here at the end of the race that could get him down into the 18s or 17s. Rispoli right now needs to get onto the back of Bradley Smith as they come out of turn 3. The former MotoGP rider, tester, he's been with BMW for testing their World Superbikes. Bradley Smith just starting to pull away ever so slightly.
So Bradley Smith on the Harley-Davidson Dyno Jet Factory Racing Harley Road Glide in Harley's backyard here in Wisconsin. He's doing a great job, but it looks like Troy Herfoss might try to make a move on Rispoli and wants to send Rispoli back to third, and he gets it done. And look at Herfoss. He's in there so deep, but he's able to get that Indian slowed down, that S&S Indian factory motorcycle. So Herfoss now in a great position. If he can stay on the tailpipe of Bradley Smith, there might be a last draft and pass move up the front straightaway.
I mean, this is just a lesson in racecraft from Herfoss at the moment. I mean, he did everything he could to stay at the front, and when it looked like he might start to go backwards, he has found a way to get that Indian Challenger in a position to not only get on the podium, he's got 32.4, as Greg points out to me right now, in the second split, which is the fastest second split of the race. Look how good Bradley was down through that carousel, though. He was able to get back away from Herfoss, but he runs it in there a little wide, Greg. That's going to allow Herfoss to get the drive out of the chicane, and if he just needs a sniff. All Troy Herfoss needs is a sniff of an idea to get down the inside of Bradley Smith going into Canada corner or even the last corner. Troy Herfoss will try to do something going into the last corner if he doesn't feel that he can draft Bradley Smith at the line.
So Bradley Smith looking for his first win in Mission King of the Baggers. He's in a good spot right now, although with this long straightaway, if anyone can get in his draft, anyone's vulnerable to the front straightaway. Last corner we go, turn 14. Bradley Smith leads.
Oh.
He's wide. The door is open. Oh, and down goes Smith as Herfoss makes contact. And now up the front straightaway we go. And it's going to be Rispoli in the draft. Can he pull out? No, it's going to be Troy Herfoss with the huge win and the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. And so victory goes to Indian Motorcycles.
We'll get that back to the Harley team, and they'll get him there. As you see, it's going to be Troy Herfoss winning by 0.2 of a second over Rispoli. Good weekend for James. Kyle Wyman gets third. O'Hara, Gillum, Baz, Lewis, Ohnsorg, Cam Peterson, and Rocco Landers rounded out your top 10.
And the championship lead. Let's take a look at these point standings. So Kyle now with 136 and Troy Herfoss with 57. Bradley Smith coming across the line in 11th with those 5 points, and then add in for Indian Motorcycles as Troy Herfoss is going to enjoy the top step of the podium after a masterful race victory.